Straight ahead on the Northwestern News Report, President Obama is in Chicago today talking about reforming the criminal justice system.
The Cubs were back in Chicago this week, vying for a spot in the World Series.
And Earl Sweatshirt and Icona Pop bring big crowds to the Aragon Theater for A&O's annual blowout.
All those stories and more coming up on the Northwestern News Report. It's your news right now.
So I want to start by saying on behalf of the American people, thank you. Thank you.
The president is in Chicago today talking about some major reforms. That's tonight's top story. Good evening and welcome to the Northwestern News Report. I'm Jamie Lovegrove.
And I'm Tal Axelrod. Thanks for joining us. So, Jamie, you had an early day today downtown with a special guest. Anything to share?
Well, that's right, Tal. President Obama relishes any chance he can get to return to his hometown of Chicago, and this time it was to address a conference for the International Association of Chiefs of Police. While the president continued his push for criminal justice reform and gun control legislation, he also addressed the strained relationship between police and minorities. Law enforcement has been a contentious topic throughout Obama's second term, as racial tensions and historically low approval ratings for police have escalated into riots in Ferguson, Missouri, and Baltimore, Maryland.
We can't have a situation in which a big chunk of the population feels like maybe the system isn't working as well for them. At the same time, too often, law enforcement gets scapegoated for the broader failures of our society and our criminal justice system.
So, Jamie, how was the reception for President Obama?
Well, Tal, it was surprisingly warm. While President Obama was certainly looking to improve relations between minorities and the police, his own relationship with the police has been tense at times throughout this year. And he really wanted to improve that as well on this trip. He spent a lot of his speech thanking police for the work they do and expressing, gratitude on behalf of the country. Certainly, he was also pushing for criminal justice reform, pushing for policing reforms, and making his thoughts known on those issues. But, he said that cops often see the worst in America, and in cops, we see the best in America. He made a statement of gratitude tonight.
And what is the president doing with the rest of his time in Chicago?
Well, after his speech, he did a couple of fundraisers for the DNC, and tonight he's in the United Center for the Chicago Bulls game, big Chicago Bulls fans, so he's there now.
Hopefully the presidential presence will lift the Bulls to victory.
Hopefully. Well, from the basketball court to the baseball diamond, the Cubs were back in Chicago this week to face the Mets for their first shot at a National League pennant in 9 years. And while it did not play out as the fans hoped, they came from all over to watch this historic event.
The Cubs opened their season with stadium mishaps and a loss to the St. Louis Cardinals. No one would have expected this young team to have a 97-win season and the World Series in sight. But fans were ready as Wrigleyville was energized Tuesday night.
This is very exciting, and if you really want to see Wrigleyville come alive like Vegas, be here.
Chicagoans went all out to support the team. They bought ball caps and artwork, sold peanuts, and they even went to Sluggers to cheer on the Cubs just a block away from the friendly confines. The last time the Cubs fans felt this hopeful for a World Series, Babe Ruth was on the field.
Down here in Wrigleyville, there's a sea of blue and red. Cubs fans are very hopeful for their first NLCS win since 2003. While the Cubs fans are the majority, there is still a significant group of Mets fans here tonight.
It's a great environment. I mean, this is a historic stadium, so I love this. I love being at Wrigley, watching our team play. It's awesome.
Wrigley and its ball club are certainly timeless. The 1980s movie Back to the Future Part 2 predicted the Cubs would win the 2015 World Series. To the disappointment of many Chicagoans, this prediction will not be a reality. Mets swept the Cubs in 4 games, but fans continue to support the team.
They're a landmark. In Chicago, we love traditions. I don't care where you go in America, if you wear the Cubs, people know you're from Chicago, and they give you a ride on. What's better than that?
As they say, there's always next year. From Wrigleyville, Fallon Gallagher, Northwestern News Network.
The Mets will face the Kansas City Royals in the World Series.
A&O did its part to dull the sting of that painful loss to the Mets on Wednesday. A&O held its annual blowout on Friday for a packed house at the Aragon Ballroom on Chicago's North Side WNER DJs Freddie Mummix and Riot Earl opened the show, which was headlined by rapper Earl Sweatshirt and techno-pop duo Icona Pop.
Blowout was quite successful this year. At the end we had a confetti cannon, which was very well received. Everyone seemed to have a great time and they enjoyed the two diverse artists and enjoyed themselves.
A&O will be screening Straight Outta Compton on November 20th.
A new building coming to campus in 2017 is said to be sweet. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Eric Miller, and coming up I will have your 5-day weather forecast.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern, break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Why hang around waiting for opportunity to knock when instead you can track opportunity down and knock on its door? You might ask, what's the best way to identify where opportunity lives? Here's a hint. Its door is colored purple. Northwestern University. Opportunity awaits your knock.
Why spend your entire life looking for some on-ramp to the road to opportunity when there's already a well-traveled path? So you may be wondering, what does that path look like? Is it paved with gold? Well, here's a hint. It's actually paved with purple. Northwestern University. Your road starts here.
Hi, I'm Eric Miller, and this is your 5-day weather forecast. Go ahead and skip that 8 a.m. tomorrow because it's going to be raining with a high of 58 and a low of 40. Thursday will be windy with a high of 52 and a low of 42. Friday we'll get a peek at the sun again with a high of 55 and a low of 47. The weekend will start off cold and rainy on Saturday with a high of 54 and a low of 49. Finally, things will heat up to 61 for a sunny Sunday. The low will be 50. I'm Eric Miller, and this has been your 5-day weather forecast.
Architectural firm William Rahn Associates has unveiled plans for a new residence hall set to be completed on Northwestern's North Campus by fall 2017. The Boston-based firm has designed buildings for more than 15 universities. The plans are for the new residential hall to be built at 560 Lincoln Street on North Campus. The new hall will have 7 mixed-gender floors with a total of 422 beds arranged in suites. The hall will also feature 3 general-use spaces on the ground floor and 2-story lounge areas. This will be the first residential building to be constructed since Slivka Residential College in 2002. Paul Rael, Executive Director of Residential Services, says the new space will encourage more community interactions between students.
If you're going to be inside 90% of your time when you're here, why not take advantage of the spaces that we have? Otherwise, students have to leave here and go somewhere else, either the library or some other place to have any sort of interactions. We can, with these renovations, create these spaces.
This addition is part of the university's 10-year housing master plan, which includes 4 other new residential buildings, 3 demolitions, and 11 full renovations.
We wanted to know what you think about the new planned dorm. That's our topic this week on Rock Talk.
What I would like to see in the dorms are it's a great place for activities where students can get to know each other and the different activities that are available on campus and just have a great place to live.
I think that they should include more late night food options and have places like Fran's be in all the dorms instead of just in Willard.
And I would say good food and new gyms.
I'd like to see like a bigger rec space. I don't know, that'd be like a hot tub or pools or I don't know, something in that. area, but we'll see.
We always need air conditioners and heaters, so yeah, that's me.
If you have an idea for a future Rock Talk topic, tweet at us at @NNN_news.
West Nile virus is here in Evanston. The first case was reported Friday by the city's Health and Human Services Department. It is one of 57 cases reported in Illinois. The disease is spread through the bite of a mosquito that picked up the virus by feeding on infected birds. Common symptoms include fever and headache.
A new Feinberg research study is currently underway to track the transition from high school to college in Northwestern freshmen. Northwestern Feinberg professors are launching a 2-year project to find out if mobile devices are effective in maintaining or improving healthy habits in college students. Professors have recruited 300 NU freshmen so far and are aiming for a total of 500 participants. The mobile app helps students keep track of their schedule and health behaviors. Depending on different behaviors like smoking and drinking, the app will have different interventions. Principal investigator of NUU, Bonnie Spring, says the app should help students. The participation is compensated and recruitment is ongoing.
The Northwestern University Law School is now $100 million richer. Alum Jay Pritzker and his wife Mary made the hefty donation to the school last week. Jay graduated from the law school in 1993 and is now estimated to have a net worth of $3.4 billion. The university announced the school will now be named the Pritzker School of Law.
8 sophomores are renewing their passion for dance with Flux, finding a different way to communicate.
Interacting with people without speaking is something that we don't normally do because so much of the way we communicate relies on writing and reading, like text messages or speaking to someone in person. But when you connect with someone without words, that's a whole different type of communication.
While the group was originally an informal way of meeting up to dance, it is now an official club that attracts students of all varieties. Members enjoy a 3-part dance session, including conditioning, improv, and cool down. Dancers are invited to dance in whatever genre they wish, although the group's roots lay in the contemporary style. According to the founders, the group plans on expanding membership through more participation and different forms of media. Flux is open to students of all majors and no experience is necessary. It meets weekly on Thursdays at 7 p.m.
Coming up, one Northwestern musician tells us just how much rhythm can do.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern, break right through that with our colors flying. We will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Why hang around waiting for opportunity to knock when instead you can track opportunity down and knock on its door? You might ask, what's the best way to identify where opportunity lives? Here's a hint. Its door is colored purple. Northwestern University. Opportunity awaits your knock.
Why spend your entire life looking for some on-ramp to the road to opportunity when there's already a well-traveled path? So you may be wondering, what does that path look like? Is it paved with gold? Well, here's a hint. It's actually paved with purple. Northwestern University. Your road starts here.
Rhythm takes time to perfect, and it's even more challenging with a bunch of people. For Northwestern's student performance group Boom Shaka, harnessing this dynamic helps put on a good show. but for its artistic director, what cast members get out of the experience behind the scenes is just as important. NNN's Jesse Kirsch is in the studio with more. Jesse?
Thanks, Tal. Boom Shaka is a remarkable blend of dance and drum, incorporating just about everything you thought could not be an instrument. And the coolest part, everyone performing the music wrote the music. Rhythm from the hands, rhythm from the feet, rhythm from just about anything. That's Boom Shaka. For the group's co-artistic director Simon Barnacle, the roughly 20-member dance-drumming combo is a refuge from traditional music.
It's the practice, 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 and the scales. Having some sort of energetic and upbeat, unconventional way of doing things, I think, is a really worthwhile part of the Northwestern community.
Barnacle helps organize everything from rehearsals to year-round street and stage performances. For fellow senior Evan Gray, this leadership makes the group more efficient.
They know that certain members of the cast may have certain strengths, and so they can kind of delegate the responsibility of, say, like writing an audition piece.
Gray himself writes pieces.
2, 3, 4.
And over time, so can everyone else.
I get the title by my name, but I think a really cool part of the group is that everyone gets at least some stake in leading and teaching and being in a position of maybe more power.
Sometimes Barnacle does have to pull rank.
We are really proud of the fact that Boom Shaka is this tight-knit family, but it can be tough to have to disagree with and kind of maybe order around your family sometimes.
Gray thinks Barnacle tackles these challenges well.
Him and the rest of the exec team have worked really strongly over the past year to kind of make what they do more transparent, so the group kind of understands a lot of the inner workings.
They don't just work well together, Gray and Barnacle even live together.
Seeing people come in, not really know what the group is about, what they're doing, why there's trash everywhere, why it's so loud, but then falling in love with it and falling in love with the people they do it with is something that is really, really rewarding.
Next up, the Refusion Shaka Show in November. Jesse Kirsch, Northwestern News Network.
Northwestern University now has its own idea incubator. The Garage, a Silicon Valley-inspired venture, had its grand opening earlier this fall, and students are starting to take advantage of it. NNN's Orko Manna got to go inside and take a test drive of the new space.
Welcome to The Garage, located on the second floor of Henry Crown Sports Pavilion. It's a new space for students interested in entrepreneurship.
When I came to Northwestern, I was looking for this, and it wasn't here, right? And I think that's really cool for me to see that, hey, my last year here, now it's here.
Senior Fike Mokeet is working on a project called Admit Hero, which gives advice to prospective college students. Mokeet says the Garage's atmosphere helps motivate him.
It's like a very, let's do something, as opposed to, let's talk about entrepreneurship or, be organizational about it. It's let's go build something right here, right now.
The facility is 11,000 square feet and includes classrooms, conference rooms, and even a cafe.
Students use the walls like this one behind me to brainstorm and collaborate, hoping to turn their small ideas into the next big thing.
Executive Director Melissa Crown says the Garage will encourage that kind of thinking.
My goal is to help Northwestern students become the best entrepreneurial thinkers and doers in the world. That doesn't mean that all of them will go on to necessarily start a company, but I want them to kind of carry that spirit with them.
The Garage is open to all students, and junior Kendra Mayer, who works with Mokeet on Admit Hero, says she feels welcome.
As a journalism student, it's very new to have an entrepreneur center, which I think is really exciting.
But the Garage still has its challenges.
Right now, I'm really struggling with an awareness problem. People have maybe heard about the Garage, but they don't know what it's for.
Crounce is hosting open events throughout fall quarter to spread the word, letting everyone know the Garage is open for business. Orko Manna, Northwestern News Network.
Students can stop by the Garage 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Northwestern's One Book, One Northwestern Selection Committee is looking for next year's campus-wide read. The selection committee is accepting 7 from the Northwestern community. Proposals must include title, author, number of pages, a short summary of the book, and a short description of why the book should be chosen. The committee will review proposals before giving its recommendations to Northwestern President Morton Shapiro, whose office sponsors the program. The committee is comprised of students, faculty, and staff, and proposals are due November 13th.
The City of Evanston, in collaboration with Northwestern students, will soon implement new signs to help cyclists stay safe. Northwestern's Design for America chapter found that most cyclists are unaware of the proper cycling hand signals. To help increase awareness, the city will be testing the effectiveness of 4 to 6 signs at intersections throughout Evanston. The city aims to help improve bike safety as well as reduce their carbon footprint by encouraging more people to ride bikes.
When we come back, we'll have your highlights this week from sports.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern, break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Why hang around waiting for opportunity to knock when instead you can track opportunity down and knock on its door? You might ask, what's the best way to identify where opportunity lives? Here's a hint. Its door is colored purple. Northwestern University. Opportunity awaits your knock.
Why spend your entire life looking for some on-ramp to the road to opportunity when there's already a well-traveled path? So you may be wondering, what does that path look like? Is it paved with gold? Well, here's a hint. It's actually paved with purple. Northwestern University. Your road starts here.
We're now joined by Mike Marute, who has some good news out of sports.
Thanks, Tall. Northwestern came up with a big win against Nebraska on Saturday. Coming off 2 straight losses, the Wildcats were looking for a spark in Lincoln. Northwestern went into its 4th conference matchup having never beaten Nebraska on the gridiron. That theme changed quickly when Clayton Thorson, the redshirt freshman quarterback, takes off for a 68-yard scamper down the field, leading to the Wildcats' first touchdown, which Thorson scored on the next play. Nebraska got its revenge, though, on the following Northwestern drive, taking Thorson down in the end zone for a safety. Cats still up, though, 7-5. The Cornhuskers would strike first in the second half with a Tommy Armstrong Jr. touchdown. That score giving Nebraska the lead, 19-12. That followed closely by Clayton Thorson and connecting with Danny Vitale, doing his best Superman impression, stretching for the score. Northwestern would score a field goal on the next drive, putting the lead at 8 points, when Nebraska charged down the field for a touchdown, 30-28, looking for the 2-point conversion that they would not complete. Cats wrapped up that game 30-28 after a failed 2-point conversion on the Cornhuskers' final possession. Northwestern holding onto the ball for its second Big Ten win. And now to the other football. Men's soccer fought their way back to breaking even on senior day, stunning Michigan State 1-0. Defense reigned on senior day behind the sure hands of goalie Zach Allen, who recorded 7 saves in his final match for NU. Junior Mike Roberge drove the dagger home. Here you can see it in the 89th minute with a redirected set piece by Henry Harrell. Wildcats took that game 1-0. Now on to the old school turf of field hockey. The 16th ranked Wildcats toppled the state of Ohio with consecutive wins over Ohio State and Ohio University. Ohio State marked the 5th conference victory for NU against Ohio University. Junior Dominique Masters led the charge with a hat trick, and senior Lisa McCarthy added to the win with a 4th goal, ending the game 4-2. The regular season will come to a close on Sunday when they take on Penn State. After that, the Big Ten tournament will happen, where the Cats will have to defend their title of Big Ten champions. And in an unprecedented piece of news from yesterday, wrestling head coach Drew Periano will no longer hold that position after a decade of being on the coaching staff. Periano has coached the Cats for 5 years and been an assistant for 5 before that. Since his start as an assistant in 2005, Northwestern has had 24 All-Americans and 4 NCAA champions. Northwestern released a statement but did not clarify why Periano was released. Periano also released a statement on Twitter thanking Northwestern and those who have helped the program while he was there. But, of course, turning back to football for a moment, Cats win looking into the bye week is pretty big because momentum, it's a big deal in college football. Getting that win as opposed to a loss hopefully will lead to a win on their next home game 2 weeks from now.
Is the bye week going to help them or hurt them, Mike? Do they need this break at this point in the season?
I do believe that they do, especially like having this momentum, like I said, after Nebraska. But then the 2 losses before that was kind of shaky. So having this break after a really positive outing, I think will lead to a very positive end of the season with 2 games at home and 2 games away.
Probably good that everyone will have a chance to rest before Halloween. Thanks, Mike.
Absolutely.
Be sure to check out Sports Night on Thursday night at 7:30 Central. Coming up, Trick or Treat. Not exactly. We'll show you how one group of runners are celebrating Halloween.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Why spend your entire life looking for some on-ramp to the road to opportunity when there's already a well-traveled path? So you may be wondering, what does that path look like? Is it paved with gold? Well, here's a hint. It's actually paved with purple. Northwestern University. Your road starts here.
Halloween came a little bit early for some Northwestern students on Saturday morning as they lined up to race for a great cause.
With Halloween just around the corner, you're going to hear trick or treat a lot. But for one group of runners, it's trick or trot. More than a dozen Northwestern students braved the wind and pouring rain to benefit the Special Olympics 5K on the Lakeville on Saturday. Despite low turnout, Rachel Surratt, who serves as Northwestern's Special Olympics affiliate president, saw an upside.
Turnout was not so great due to the rain, but we did have a lot of people register online who never showed up, so I think our profit will still be pretty good.
Sophomore Natalie Berg ran for personal reasons.
I'm out here because Special Olympics is really important to me because my sister participated through her whole childhood, and I was a coach last year, and I just think it's a great cause and really important.
Whether you won or just came close, there was something to celebrate.
It feels good, especially, it's a good cause, and anytime you can go out and show support while still getting some good exercise, I always like to try and do that as much as I can.
Participating runners received an early Halloween treat of their own. Gift cards to Jamba Juice, Five Guys, Chipotle, and Starbucks. The group raised $150 for programming and awareness. Matt Dunn, Northwestern News Network.
The money will go towards bringing special needs athletes to campus and running awareness events such as the End of the R-Word Day. And that's all we have for you tonight. I'm Jamie Lovegrove.
I'm Mike Marute for sports.
And I'm Tal Axelrod. Thanks for watching and have a great night.